My daughter dumped me for her dad and his mistress. Then she told me to stop acting like a victim and grow up. So I did, by spending her college fund while she begged me to stop. The day my daughter called another woman mom, I knew I had lost more than just my marriage. My 18-year-old daughter, Emma, is starting college soon. After 20 years of marriage, I thought she would take my side. Her father, Luke, had an affair with his secretary, Christy. When I moved out, Emma didn't even ask where I was. I waited for her to reach out, but she didn't. I finally texted her, explaining why I left. She already knew about the affair and didn't care. She said it wasn't her problem. At first, I thought Luke might have twisted the story to make himself look better. But no, he had told her the truth, and she still chose him. I kept trying to see her, even though I was dealing with the divorce and work. When she finally agreed to meet, she spent the whole time on her phone. It felt like she didn't care at all. Weeks went by with no word from her. Then I saw her post on Instagram. She was hugging Christy and smiling. The caption? Mom, with a heart emoji. Losing my husband was hard enough, but losing my daughter to the woman who ruined my marriage? I don't know how to handle that. Emma and I had our differences, but I never expected her to betray me like this. We were close growing up, but recently she started getting closer to Luke than to me. I always thought she loved us equally. That phone call proved otherwise and pushed me over the edge. That post was the last straw, and I snapped. I called Emma, and when she didn't answer the first time, I called her almost 17 more times until she finally picked up. She sounded annoyed, but I demanded an explanation for the post and the caption. She told me it was none of my business, and that I shouldn't be stalking her account. It was crazy because she has a public account, and I follow her because I am her mother. I told her it was low and disgusting of her to take Luke's side, even though he had cheated on me, and now she was pretending the other woman was her mother while ignoring me. Emma told me she owed me nothing, and if I was so hurt, she would block me so I wouldn't see any more of her posts. She said instead of whining like a victim, I should just grow up, like she was trying to get along with her new family. Then she disconnected the call and blocked me, which shocked me. I cried for almost an hour after she hung up and blocked me. I couldn't believe my little girl would do this to me, but once I was done crying, I decided I wasn't going to let everyone walk all over me. I decided to take Emma's advice and do something crazy. For the past couple of years, I had my eye on a beautiful house in a nice neighborhood. I couldn't buy it because Luke wasn't ready to move out of our old house, and Emma didn't want to leave her friends. I had saved money for Emma's college fund. Luke and I planned to split the cost of her college, so we each saved half in our separate bank accounts. When I realized Emma wasn't grateful, I decided it was better to accept it and move on. I chose to use the college fund to buy the house I wanted. I talked to the real estate agent and offered the entire college fund and some more money to buy the house, and I got a deal. I'm supposed to move into the house by the end of the month. I decided to take a picture of the house and post it on social media to show everyone that I wasn't sitting at home feeling sorry for myself. I posted the picture, and some of Luke's relatives sent it to him. A few days ago, he texted me, asking how I could afford the house since it was out of my budget last time we talked. I didn't care what he thought, so I told him the truth. I used Emma's college fund to buy the house, and I had no regrets. He got very angry and called me an irresponsible mother. He said I had no right to do this to our daughter and accused me of being petty and jealous because Emma was getting along well with Christy. He suggested I was punishing Emma for not siding with me. None of that was true. I did this because I felt I deserved it and didn't need to keep chasing after my daughter. It was clear from her behavior that she preferred these new people over me, so she didn't need me or my money anymore. Luke couldn't argue with that, so I ended the call. But it wasn't over because I still had to deal with Emma. An hour after my phone call with Luke, she called me, and she was devastated. She was sobbing, and I could barely understand what she was saying. She kept asking how I could do this to her when she had always put me first. She told me that it meant nothing and was just a sweet gesture to make Christy feel more comfortable as part of the family. No matter what happened in the past, Luke still wanted a future with Christy. She wanted to balance her old family and her new family without letting either of them go. She didn't expect me to turn so hostile towards her. I told her that I felt the same way because she turned her back on me first, even though I was the victim and had been cheated on. It was petty, but I did ask her if she was still putting me first when she blocked me just because I seemed upset that she was calling Christy her mother. She kept crying and said she never expected her own mother to take revenge on her like this. I started feeling pretty horrible about what I did, especially when she started hiccuping in the middle of her sobs. She only did that when she was really upset, and I hadn't heard her do that since she was a kid, so I knew she was really upset now. And I guess I may have taken things too far. She told me she was very sorry for whatever she did, and then disconnected the call. I haven't been able to forget about it, and I really don't know if what I did was out of line or not. Am I the bad person for spending my daughter's college fund on the new house after she called her dad's affair partner mom? Hey everyone, I moved into my new house recently. I brought all my things from my old house and saw Luke, Christy, and Emma there. Luke and Christy ignored me, which made it easier to direct the movers. Emma, however, tried to stop me before I left and asked about her college fund. She didn't apologize, so I just drove away. I've thought a lot about Emma's behavior. We had grown distant over the years, which I thought was normal for a teenager. She was always close with her father, which made me feel left out, but I never held it against her. This situation was different. I needed her to support me, but she didn't. Her treatment of me afterward hurt even more. I don't think anyone could tolerate that level of disrespect, especially from an adult who knows what they're doing. I have been ignoring her for the past few days, but it has been almost a week and she still keeps texting. So today I decided to finally text her back. I told her that the money was already spent, so there was nothing I could do to get it back. Besides, she had already made her priorities clear to me, so it was unfair for her to treat me badly and then expect me to pay for her college fund. The person she called mom could actually help with her fund, which would be more reasonable. Emma got annoyed and texted back saying it was just a post, and there was no need for me to get so upset. But to me, it was not just a post. It felt like a slap in the face because not only was Luke choosing this woman over me, but it felt like my own daughter was also taking their side. She was old enough to know right from wrong, so it did not make sense to me why she chose their side over mine. The only explanations I could think of were that either she did not think they had done anything wrong, which would be a bad sign of her morals, or maybe she knew something I did not, and they were doing something for her that I could not. Either way, she was not on my side and did not have my back, which was a huge heartbreak for me. I told Emma all of this, and the only thing she said to my long emotional text was that I needed to get over it. I was so frustrated with her that I muted all notifications from her and archived her chat. Like I said before, I cannot forgive my daughter, and the money is already spent, so I do not understand why she keeps bothering me. However, Emma has decided to keep texting me every other day to ask if I have changed my mind. I could not block her because she is still my daughter, but if she tests my patience again, I just might do that. Update 3. It has been 2 weeks since I last spoke to my daughter, and today Luke and Emma showed up at my office. I was about to leave for lunch when I saw Luke's car parked across the street. Both of them were waiting for me. I tried to ignore them, but they approached me, demanding an explanation for my actions. Despite previous explanations, they still seemed confused. I told them to go away, but Emma insisted I owed her an explanation. Reluctantly, I agreed to talk and led them to the nearest restaurant. Once seated, I started talking without letting them interrupt. I explained that Luke and I were getting a divorce because he cheated on me. Instead of supporting me, Emma sided with her father's affair partner, making me feel worse. I told her that after everything, I couldn't see her as the daughter I raised. Her actions were hurtful, and I didn't want to associate with any of them anymore. I told Emma she was lucky to even get a chance to talk to me because a more ruthless person would have cut her off. After I finished, I saw tears in Emma's eyes. Not wanting to appear weak, I hurriedly grabbed my burrito, paid, and left. Neither of them has contacted me since, and I doubt they will. If they do, it won't be about the college fund because I made it clear why it's gone. I still have to meet Luke in a couple of days for negotiations. I don't know what will happen with my relationship with Emma because she seemed pretty upset today. The things I said definitely got to her. Update 4. It has been a month since I last saw my daughter, and I almost thought I would never see her again. I was sad, but I had made my peace with it. Emma and I did not speak for a month after that. She's supposed to start college in a couple of weeks, and I keep looking through old photo albums of us when she was little. I thought I would be there to see her off when she went away to college. When Luke told me about Christy, I did not even scream at him. I just left quietly and never looked back. Luke stopped fighting me during the negotiations, probably because of what I said at our last informal meeting at the restaurant. I guess the guilt had not really settled in because I had not expressed how disappointed and angry I was until that day. I kept thinking about how Christy would be the one seeing Emma off instead of me, and that made me really upset, but I could not do anything about it. 3 days ago, I received an emotional email from Emma. She apologized for her behavior and told me the real reason she was trying to be nice to Christy. Luke had promised her a car and an apartment with her friends in her second year if she treated Christy better. She did not know how to do this without hurting me. She knew that if she stayed close to me, I would ask about her relationship with Christy, and she did not want that. So she started pushing me away, hoping to reconnect with me once she got the car. She said she now understood that none of it was worth losing her relationship with me, and regretted everything she did. She told me she would love it if I would be there to see her off when she started college and gave me the dates and details. I have not yet decided if I want to go because, in the end, she did all this just for a car and to have fun with her friends. I understand the appeal because I was once her age, but I would never hurt my loved ones for something so small. She hurt me badly. It was intentional and for a petty reason, so I do not know if I can forgive her quickly, but at least she apologized, so that is something. I have not responded to her email yet because I am still struggling with what to do. I do not think a car or an apartment is a good enough reason to act the way she did, but I miss her terribly and wish we could go back to the way we were, or at least try to. Update 5. Emma and I have finally started working on our relationship. She is supposed to leave for college in a couple of days, and I finally responded to her email yesterday. I told her that she made me feel awful, like I had failed as a mother, and it would take me a while to come around. But I couldn't keep away from her anymore because she is my only child. People might think of me as weak, but I believe there has been enough punishment and revenge in this family, and I can't go on with so much hate in my heart. I fix things not out of duty, but because I really wanted to. I don't think I would forgive her if I wasn't her mother, but I am. So I guess just this once I can look past what she did, as long as she promised never to do anything like this again, not just to me, but to anyone who loves her. We had a phone call afterward and talked about everything, which ended with both of us crying. It was a good emotional release. She promised me she would never repeat her behavior and that she wants to fix our relationship more than anything. So, we decided to try online therapy sessions because we've been through a lot, and I don't think we can work through these things without professional help. She also told me she asked her father to stay home because she wants me to drive her to her campus and help her settle in. It will also give her some time to talk to me before she leaves. Luke and Christy were disappointed that she didn't want them to come along, but she was firm about who she wanted to drop her off, and I'm glad she chose me. Hang in there. Things do get better. I wouldn't say everything is fine again, but with enough time and effort, I hope we can repair our relationship.